Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we have Kyle with Prime Commission Club, and it's going to be based off of his experience and knowledge on how to get going and how this could potentially be a whole nother revenue stream for you to use and utilize. So, Kyle, how did you get started? And tell us a little bit about your whole journey with all of this.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on today. So I started FBA back in 2021. Kind of started with books, transitioned to RA, and then towards the end, like around 2 years in, I was doing pretty much 90% OA, 10% wholesale. And I was like, 50 to 75 per month, pretty solid margins at that time. I had a team of virtual assistants. Things were going pretty smooth. And then right before my second son was born, I had gotten an authentic complaint with an email attached where they were like, you have 72 hours to get back to us or you're getting deactivated. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, that really definitely like shook me up at the time. So I was like, let me just look into the Amazon influencer thing. And at that time, he had come out to visit me in California. And, I had never met him before. This was the first time. And, he's going around the house doing videos of all the stuff. My wife is like, what is up with this guy? Like, you've never met him before. Is this okay? I'm like, he's from the Midwest. So he's not going to kill us. Like, it's going to be fine. And yeah, like later that month, he hit 10K. I think it was June. I forget what year it was, but he hit 10,000. I think it was like the same month of Prime Day, like they have the back-to-back Prime Days. So that's what piqued my interest with it. And at that time, I just started hitting it super hard. I pretty much exhausted all of the options with friends and family, did all their reviews that way. That's when I started to do the short-term rental route, like Airbnbs, reaching out to the hosts and going there to pay them a set rate, not for the full monthly night rate, and reviewing all the items in there. And I was doing, I think like within 6 months, I was doing like 9 to 12,000 per month consistently, which was pretty amazing, especially coming from, I was still making good money with FBA, but I kind of liquidated it at that time just because obviously it wasn't as inventory intensive, and I just wanted something a little bit different. So around that same time was when I started to dabble in UGC. And because with Amazon, you do a lot of what's called brand deals, where you pretty much get brands that send you a product, Amazon product. You make $50 or $100 to do a video review of the product, and then you get to keep the product. So I was kind of already doing a form of UGC. So at that time, I was working with around 250 brands in total, mainly for UGC at that time. And then I was also doing the Amazon influencer stuff on the side. And then, fast forward to today, I average anywhere from like 14 to 18, $19,000 just with UGC. Amazon influencer numbers are down a little bit. It's pretty much like 6 to 8,000 typically for me. But I also don't upload as aggressively as I did in the beginning. But it is still really nice income because a lot of these products are things that I've never even seen before. Like if something's in someone's cart, like say somebody goes to buy these headphones and they have a MacBook Pro in the cart, they watch my video for 30 seconds or more, or 70% of the video and purchase it, I'm going to make commission on everything in the cart at that time. So as you guys know, Q4, the holidays, like you can really see the commissions kind of ramp up at that time. So it's pretty amazing. But yeah, it's a little background on how I got involved with the whole UGC thing. I was an influencer and kind of where I'm at today with it.
That kind of blows my mind because I, as a consumer, have never watched a review video in my life. Like people are doing this, and that just is so weird to me. Um, Now I saw just kind of like side note here. I wanted to pick your brain about this because I saw that there's now like this Walmart creator section. Are you going to tap into that too? Not to take importance away from this call, but curious about where you're going to go.
I know the approval for it takes a very long time. I think I applied for it back in like maybe 8 months ago, 10 months ago, didn't hear back. I know Sarah, she applied for it and pretty much got approved like within a month or two. So it's very hit or miss in that aspect, but definitely something I'm interested in, especially if I can repurpose half of the videos or all the videos that I already have, because I have around like 2,500 Amazon influencer videos. So if I could repurpose those similar ones or just do a different style video and upload it there, I would definitely be trying to tap into that for sure.
That's pretty cool. I'm interested in learning about that someday down the line when I
Yeah.
get this nailed, right? I did have a question about, so people put a lot of focus on like the little things, and I'm wondering if the little things matter. Like what type of camera you're using to do the reviews, what you look like. Do you have to be in the videos? A lot of people are very shy and don't want to show their face. Now, I know a little bit about your program because I'm in it, and so is Brian and Aaliyah and a bunch of other people that are in our Discords. If you could touch on those little things, that'd be great.
No, that's a great question. And I feel like it kind of fluctuates. I feel like sometimes during the year, you'll go on the carousel, meaning like the Amazon listing page where the videos live. And all of the videos, thumbnails are like YouTube style of like somebody making a crazy face and pointing to it, and like infographics on the screen. And they have the top carousel, which means they're making money because they're pretty much right there. And then other times you'll go to the listings different times of the year and there's everything's faceless. So it definitely ebbs and flows, in my opinion. When I got started about 2 years ago with it, it was, I'd say 1,800 of, at that time I had around 2,000 videos were all faceless. So I was not in them. It was literally me shooting with my crappy iPhone 13 Pro and 30 to 50 seconds typically, highlight the bullet points, and you don't really have to, it doesn't really have to be like a proper UGC video, like an ad that you would see on Meta. The videos that convert for Amazon are just so much more basic. You could just be like, I've had this for a few months, works really great. This is what I love about it. This is like exactly what it does. Like just mainly the bullet points from the actual description of the listing, but just make it sound engaging. So in my opinion, it doesn't really matter whether it's faceless or not, but it is going to vary depending on the time of the year and the listing. Like I said, I feel like now I've noticed more of the videos looking a little bit more like YouTube-like, and they're a little bit longer. But they're always trialing different things, but it's always good to kind of have your own data.
Remember the videos I told you Morgan could make? That's what they're talking about now.
Brian, please.
It's something you could do.
You got it.
All good. But yeah, there's definitely opportunity with, you don't have to have a fancy camera or lighting. Like I didn't even buy a ring light until I had 1,800 videos and was already doing like $8,000 to $10,000 a month. So you don't need the fancy camera or the DJI Osmo Pocket. You don't need any of that for the Amazon influencer. For UGC, yes, it's nice to have the different types of cameras for those angles and stuff. But for Amazon influencer, you can 100% do it from your iPhone, at your house. It doesn't matter where you're at. You can pretty much do it anywhere.
Just as like just to back up just a little bit, for anybody that's on here that this may be so all new to them and don't even know what AIP UGC is, could you just give a quick little breakdown as to what the differences are? And yeah, I guess just what the
for sure.
are.
Definitely. Yeah. So AIP, also known as Amazon Influencer Program, is whenever you're on a product listing page, there's two carousels. There's an upper carousel on the top left with the rest of the static images. And then there's also videos at the very bottom section that's called the video section. And when you click on the videos, it'll say earns commission on the bottom left section. That means that person is an Amazon influencer. Their goal is to try to, showcase this product to you, explain it to you with the end goal of you watching that video and then purchasing the product. And that's kind of how you get paid for on-site commissions, is by creating those 30 to 50-second videos, uploading it to your storefront. You do not have to post it to social media, and you really don't have to have your face in it either. It can just literally be the product. So that's the Amazon influencer side. And then the UGC side is user-generated content. So it's essentially creating ads for brands. You've probably seen 10 UGC videos this last month without even knowing it. They typically come up as like a sponsored post on TikTok or on Meta. So you're going to see it on Facebook or Instagram. That's where most of my ads are typically live. I like UGC just because there's no ceiling. Like with Amazon, they always, as you guys know, as resellers, they can change stuff around all the time. But with UGC, you have full control over it. Yes, there's platforms to be a UGC creator, but I do typically do the D2C model where I pitch directly to the brands. I work directly with them. I send them a contract. They tell me, okay, we want 3 videos. Okay, cool. Here's my rate, $1,300. And then they pay me either direct deposit, or ACH or PayPal. So I like that model because there's, in my opinion, no ceiling to it, as long as you have the time to film the content, and you can charge a lot more per video, which is pretty nice.
Thank you for that. I'm just going to read some comments or some questions from the chat. Alex says,
Sure.
Can you share how you reached out to brands and locked in your first UGC gig? And how are you reaching out to them? What are you looking for when you're sending your pitch to a brand?
I see it here. Yeah, so the first few that I did were actually on platforms, and there's nothing wrong with UGC platforms. Like, for example, there's I can throw them in the chat too. There's Coley, Incense, Fiverr, Upwork. Those are like the main 4 that you're going to hear about on different social media platforms. And on there, it's nice because there's no need for you to like create a contract or do anything like that. Like mostly like on Fiverr, the brands reach out to you. So you don't have to pitch anybody, which is nice. So that's like how I kind of got my feet wet was with Fiverr and Upwork was, having the brands reach out to me. Hey, and the rates are a lot lower for the platforms. They'll say, hey, we'll give you $100 or $150 to do like a 30-second spokesperson video about X product. It could be like a supplement. It could be whatever it is at that time. And then you finish it, you send it over to them, and then they pay you through the app. And the downside to the apps, mainly Fiverr and Upwork, is Fiverr takes 20%. I think it's 15 or 20. And then Upwork takes 15%. So like to me, I feel like at scale, I don't like that they're taking that much, especially if you're doing like 20 grand a month, they're getting 20% for like just existing. That just is not what I typically like. That's why I do the D2C model, which is I typically find the brands that I want to pitch on Meta. So like I'll be scrolling through people's stories and just kind of scrolling through the For You page of the Reels. And that's when you're going to see different sponsored ads come up. So you know for a fact, this business obviously runs UGC ads if you're seeing one. And then from there, you would pretty much click on their profile. You never really want to message them initially through Instagram. You want to take them, go and find their email. You can either throw it into ChatGPT or go to their website and find their email because they're just more apt to respond to you. And you want to also have a specific pitch for each of these. Like if it's fitness, you want it to be fitness, obviously allocated towards that. If it's an e-commerce thing, obviously towards that. So you want to make sure your scripts are more customized to each one. And this is what are you looking for when sending your pitch to a brand? So the things that I look for is like where they're lacking. Like say like I'll look at their Instagram and it's like, they have a couple decent converting videos, but they don't have any unboxing videos. They don't have any like day in the life of like a person that would use this type of videos. So when I pitch them, if I really want to work with them, I'll send them like a rough concept idea just so that they can kind of see like, all right, this guy like took the extra legwork. He's not like sending a copy paste template to all these brands. He actually gives a shit. So I like that where you can kind of customize it for them. And that's typically what I recommend for brands that you do want to work with that are bigger to kind of stand out.
Thank you for going all into that. I know that
Yeah.
a lot of information for newbies, but Kyle actually runs a really good course program. It's a program that comes with ongoing support in Discord, and he goes into like I'm in there. So if you just joined and you didn't know, Kyle runs Prime Commission Club and goes over Amazon Influencer Program and UGC and everything, and I'm in there. And one thing that I really like about it is, yeah, you just told us exactly what's in the modules, but in the modules, you and I'm so sorry, what's your partner's name?
James Snyder. Yeah.
Yes, they go into it like step by step, and I like that your videos are digestible, even though
Yes.
like sometimes people can talk slower than my ears are ready for. Like my ADHD is like, okay, come on, give it to me. So I like that the videos that you have in there, you can speed up. Like in some courses, you can't do that. So it was like, and then you can put on captions. It was very user friendly and very broken down. And then you have the support inside Discord if anybody has questions or further questions, because things are obviously updated as time goes on. So you have that additional support in there. Now on Fiverr, I had a quick question about this. I cannot recall the video at the moment, but is Fiverr, I've never used Fiverr, on my side. Do you put up like a resume on Fiverr? I know you put in the regular like ads or what you can offer, but can you put a resume on there?
I wouldn't really call it a resume. It's more so like you can put an actual section of like they call them gigs. So you can like have two. I have typically two or three separate gigs. I have one for Amazon influencer videos that it can include like an unboxing or a day in the life or just a testimonial style video for a set rate. Then I have another one for a UGC concept, like a proper storytelling UGC, and those are obviously a little bit more. And then there's only actually one section where you could put, if I remember right, like one section where you can put like your intro video. So that is pretty important to kind of like have something that kind of showcases your skill set, shows that you actually know how to edit. You're more apt to get brands to reach out to you if you can kind of create something like that. But on the other platforms like Incense, for instance, or Collabster, I can throw them in the chat after. Those ones are nice because you can put like 10 videos up there. So you can almost put like a portion of your UGC portfolio or Amazon influencer portfolio in there. This way the brands can see like, oh, okay, like this one aligns well with, my stuff or this one doesn't. But with Fiverr, it's kind of like you only get like that one chance to kind of convince people to get it. And I also feel like with Fiverr, it's more inconsistent. Like if your keywords aren't fully dialed in, you're just not going to have many people reaching out. Or if your rates are a little bit on the higher end, you're just not going to have as much traction with it. But there's definitely, it's nice to have as a backup. You know, I typically do anywhere from probably 2 to 3 collabs on Fiverr. But again, I just, with the fees, I don't like that. But as a beginner, it is a perfect place to start. Like, you know, that's definitely a great place to get your feet wet and work with some bigger brands.
Thank you. That was really thorough. Andrew is asking if there's a minimum or a maximum that you need to shoot your videos. I know some people say 30 seconds at least, some say at least 45. Like, is there a sweet spot?
That's a great question. So for the Amazon influencer videos, we typically recommend at least anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute. This was about a year ago, and I still do the same thing. Like, I mean, like now my videos are a little bit shorter, but they're not like, 20 seconds. Like they're like anywhere from like 35 to say 45 seconds. That's what I typically recommend. If it's something like a camera or something, really advanced electronic, then you're going to want to kind of maybe do like 2 minutes. But I feel like it's not very necessary. And I also noticed that you don't really see many videos on the top or lower carousel that are 2 or 3 or 4 minutes long. It's very, very, very rare, in my opinion, from what I see. So yeah, I feel like some people just put too much thought into it, especially like thinking with like an FBA background. Like when I started, I would be like at an Airbnb and I'm like going through it and I'm like, oh, this BSR is like 600,000. Should I even review it? I don't even know if I should do it. And then it's like in that 30 seconds, you could have just shot the video already and uploaded it. So it's just like, regardless of the price, just literally review everything in your house and then just move on to friends and family. And you can definitely have 1,000 videos relatively quickly.
Brian, to touch on that, he's like, I don't even have the attention span for a 4-minute video. I get it because I didn't even know people watch these things, and
Yeah.
because I don't, and the
hmm
world revolves around you as a consumer, right? Let's see here. Aaliyah says, how and where do you store your videos?
For both of them, for Amazon Influencer and for UGC, I keep them all on Google Drive. So I have Google One, which is like $10 a month for 2 TB, and that should be enough for like your first like year doing it. But I am like almost like 80% full, so I probably have to upgrade, unfortunately. And then I also keep them kind of organized in my iPhone, like in different folders. This way, I can kind of see like, all right, these are the UGC concepts. These are my B-roll for UGC. This is all my Amazon Influencer videos, so it's all kind of broken down.
I'm laughing a little bit because when you're on the phone with somebody around your friends, but you're talking Amazon and you're talking about BSR and you're like all these little things like, oh, did you check SAS? Did you check Keepa? Like it's a
Yeah,
whole nother thing to learn all the lingo about. It's kind
right.
of funny. So Aaliyah says, do you have a YouTube with your AIP videos on it and a link? Like are you repurposing your content across all the platforms?
That's a great question. I personally do not do that, and I'm probably leaving a lot of money on the table. James does do that. My business partner with Prime Commission Club, he has I think like 2,500 videos, maybe 3,000 uploaded to YouTube, which is great because, like I said in the beginning, there's the Amazon influencer on site, which is pretty much doing the 30-second video review, uploading it to your storefront. People watch it, they buy it, you get paid. Then there's the off-site side, which is like Aaliyah says, you post it to YouTube. People are seeing your affiliate link on there, like you're reviewing the product like you normally would and repurposing it. They purchase it on the back end, and I feel like that is also a great opportunity for people that have like TikTok, or if you're like pretty active on social in general, because some of those get ready with me is like, okay, here's my makeup, here's my bag, here's this, here's that. And it's like you have 10 different links there. You could be making an additional $2,000-3,000 a month just from offsite commissions and then also making money from the on-site. So I should be repurposing it. I just don't have enough time in a day. But if I could start over again, I would for sure do it.
So you don't have enough time in the day. Do you bring VAs in to help you with any of this? Do you like just shoot it, put it in a drive, and then outsource anything else, or are you doing it all of it?
For Amazon Influencer, I do all that myself. For UGC, my virtual assistant does help with my editing. She does all of my pitching now, and she also does, um, she literally does everything. She helps me with taxes. She helps me with like a ton of different stuff. So she's really hands-on with the UGC side. James has his virtual assistant uploading all of them to YouTube. So all he has to do is throw it in a Google Drive, and then his VA will upload it for him. He typically does like 50 videos a day on a shift on top of other duties. So it's definitely good if you have a VA to try to transition them over to whether it be UGC or Amazon Influencer, because they can definitely figure it out quickly if you could train them on it.
Okay.
Real
Yeah.
quick, you were talking about the on and off site. Which pays more on those? Is it? I believe it's off site, correct?
For me, it's on-site. On-site is, like I said, the actual Amazon influencer reviews that you'd be doing and uploading to your storefront, the ones that are going to live on the listing. The off-site ones are going to be the ones like more so on TikTok, or you're posting the affiliate link on YouTube, something like that. I think James, I forget, I think his is like $100 to $200 a month for off-site, and then for on-site, he does a pretty solid amount. But it's typically more for on-site for most people, unless you're like a big influencer and you have, hundreds of thousands of followers, then you could maybe make more with it. But for, just regular people that don't have a crazy following, it's typically on-site that's going to make more.
So even like per the purchase, it's still going to make more on site.
Oh, you mean like the percentage of the actual percentage per product?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, it should be the same breakdown. So there's I can throw it in the chat here. It's pretty much like a breakdown of the percentages per category. And most of them are typically averages anywhere from like 3 to 5%. There's some that are 10% rates that are a little bit higher, but like Amazon Games, which I really don't even know what that is, but luxury beauty is a huge one. That one's 10% fixed income rate, which is fantastic. I'll throw this in the chat for you guys. There you go. This way you guys
So
can kind of
different
see it.
categories pay out different amounts.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So we have the like kitchen, automotive, physical books are 4.5%, and then toys, furniture, home improvement, stuff like that's going to be 3%. And then you can see that all the Amazon Fire stuff's going to be 4%, and then the luxury beauty is 10%, which is fantastic. And then it says all other categories that are, not within these ones are going to be 4% as well, which doesn't sound like much, but like I said, when it's a product you've never even touched, that's the crazy part. Like where it was in somebody's cart. Okay, they had a MacBook Pro. Okay, it's only 2 or 3%. It's still, you never reviewed the product. So it's like the fact that you're making any money on it is just such a win, in my opinion.
That's a
And
huge.
yeah, seriously. So to do stuff like that, you could even use like the similar items purchased with type of items, maybe even like attack some stuff like that. Like,
Oh
that
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. And that's again, coming from an FBA background, it's going to make you think outside the box than somebody that doesn't know what a BSR is or doesn't know what whatever is. It just it helps and hurts us because, like I said, like in the beginning, I'd be like, like looking at the BSR, I'm like, oh, this is too high, I should skip it. But yeah, there's opportunity with everything, and you also never know how many units people are actually going to buy in a month, even if it has a really good or a really crappy BSR, but the commission's $70. Like I have a Herman Miller chair that only sells maybe 3 to 4 times per month, but it's like $65 per sale. So that's pretty solid ROI. It took me 45 seconds to shoot the video. It wasn't even my chair. And then you're pretty much making commission every time somebody watches it, which is nice.
Do you also like when you get free stuff in the mail, like do you also sell it elsewhere like John does? I love that John does that. He does this little side hustle flipping thing on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I did in the beginning. I moved recently. I was like living in the East Bay and I moved like an hour south. So I haven't really had the time to do it as much, but if it's something high ticket, obviously I will. Like I had a Wise robot vacuum that was like $300 or $400. I sold that. A lot of like higher end electronics from like Anchor and Soundcore that I typically sell. But most of the time I like to throw them on eBay just because I don't know, I can typically get more for them. So I'll typically throw the bigger, higher ticket stuff up on there. But yeah, again, as a reseller, you guys are like the wheels are turning, like it's easy
Yeah.
to additional income stream on top of it.
So being an influencer actually can become like multiple different, you can earn not just with the links, like you can
Yeah.
learn, you can earn over on UGC on all those platforms, on Fiverr, selling the stuff
Yes.
that you get for free on Marketplace or eBay. That's really cool.
Exactly. And that's typically what I recommend, like two brands is like, so say I have an Amazon brand that reaches out, hey, can you review these headphones? Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, my rate is $150 with full usage rights for one Amazon influencer video, meaning I would upload it to my storefront and then I would also send that deliverable to them so they can use it on their website, email marketing, etc. And then after that goes well, I would say, I already have the product in hand. Let's make a couple of UGC videos for your Instagram as well. And I'd say like 60% of the time they're open to doing that. So, my UGC rates are a lot higher. I typically charge anywhere from 400 to 600 for one video, for like a 30 or 40 second video. So that's like it's a win for them because they don't have to ship the product to another creator. You already have it and you already know how to talk about it because you did an Amazon influencer video review. So it is nice to be able to kind of upsell them to do that. You're getting paid both ways. They pay you for the UGC, they pay you for the Amazon influencer review. You get upload that to your Amazon influencer storefront to make commissions, and you can resell the product. So like you're literally getting paid 4 to 5 different ways from one product, which is pretty nutty.
It would be nice to not have to deal with inventory, wouldn't it?
Or the overhead.
Or the
The overhead's a
overhead.
big one too.
Yeah,
No, and then
that's
you
true.
can write off a part of your mortgage for your home office.
Yeah.
Just start reviewing stuff that you need for your house. Like, oh, you need to paint the walls or whatever. Review that paint, and now your paint's free.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Or even sometimes I'll even like if I'm gonna be going like traveling somewhere or if I need something like I needed like patio furniture, I posted on X and on Instagram. I was like, hey, I'm a UGC creator and an Amazon influencer. Really looking to furnish my patio, and I kind of showed a picture of my patio, what it currently looked like. This is what I'm looking for. Tagged like 3 brands. One of them led to a collaboration. They sent me like a $1,700 set for free. I actually wound up keeping that. I wanted to resell it. The wife's like, we just got it. I'm like, I want to sell it. Like, we got it for free. And she's like, no, we're keeping it. I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, you can make money a ton of different ways with it.
that's funny that you say that because if I get Andrew anything name brand, he's like, I could sell this.
Yeah.
I gotta
Double
get
our
him
money.
Not
Let's
on the
go.
profits.
blank black t-shirts. Actually, look, we're both wearing Aura right now because they were free. Uh, Crystal says, how did you go about finding the VA for UGC? I've only ever heard of VAs for sourcing. Like, is there a VA
So,
database somewhere?
that's a good question. So there is technically a database. There's platforms that you can use for the VA sourcing. There's one called Bento. I've never used it personally. I've heard of other UGC creators using it. What I don't like about it is like they set the amount of pitches that they can do. It's more so for pitching, not for editing. But mine, I found her on, it was actually through my network, but it was like from onlinejobs.ph. And again, she started with me as a sourcing VA for Amazon FBA and helped me through that. She helped me through Amazon KDP. She, saw my journey through Prime Commission Club and UGC and was just able to learn everything along the way. So definitely recommend once you find a trusted VA, pay them whatever they want. Obviously, not a crazy amount, but enough to where they can live comfortably. And once the trust is built, it's just so nice to have somebody to like delegate stuff to at scale. It's like very important, as you guys know. You guys are resellers, so you guys definitely get it.
Yeah, outsourcing needs to be a
Yes.
priority.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you're glued to your business and you started the business so you can have freedom.
Yeah.
So it's like catch 22. Brian, do you have any other questions?
So for AIP, so like on my first 3 videos, I didn't do any edits. I just did continuous runs. I didn't do any edits. I just ran it, submitted it. Do you use software, editing software, and do you edit your AIP videos, specifically AIP?
Nope. I've never, the only editing I've ever done was just a simple voiceover with CapCut. That's it. I've never like added a fancy thumbnail or anything like that. I've always just did the one take, sometimes 2 takes if it's like, if I have to go outside, if it's like a drone or something like that. But yeah, I don't do any editing like that. Again, I've seen people that are on the carousel that do all these crazy edits. But I don't know. In my opinion, like especially after doing more UGC, the user generated content side, it's like I'm not trying to make you like a free UGC. You know what I mean? I should be getting $400 for a deliverable like that. So I don't want to like, over deliver if they don't even know you're doing it. Like if it's not a brand deal, if it's just like you randomly finding these headphones, doing a 4 minute, really sick, YouTube style video and uploading it. The brand doesn't even really know you exist at that time. But it will maybe increase the conversions on the on-site for Amazon influencer. But again, I like to, just do my 45-second videos. I always tell people if you could do 10 videos per day, you're going to have almost 1,000 videos in 3 months. So if you can at least do that, just those 10 videos, it literally only takes 10 to 15 minutes. You could definitely be, making pretty consistent money at that time. And also once you get past 500 videos for Amazon influencer, that's when you're going to have brands reaching out to you. You're not going to have to like pitch brands. They're going to reach out to you. Hey, I seen your storefront, Brian. It looked really good. Like, can we send you these headphones or this, whatever type of product it is. So that's always nice.
So being a reseller on, specifically on the platform of Amazon, can you review those videos, which I already know you can't, but what can you review and what is okay?
As an FBA seller?
Just as a reseller. So say you're on multiple platforms, Amazon, Walmart. Are you able to review video products from that you saw on Walmart? And to be
Yes,
clear, that you cannot on Amazon.
correct. So Amazon just does not want people double dipping. Like if you're, purchasing the product, you have the buy box, you're, making whatever X amount, and you're also the main video on the carousel, that's immediately going to get your account deactivated or flagged. If you're selling on Walmart and you've never sold that product on Amazon FBA, then you're good to go. Because there's no difference between that and getting the product at Costco or Target or anything like that, which is also a huge perk. Like you don't have to purchase these items on Amazon to actually do a review on them. As long as there's a listing for it, you're good to go. And in the app, like at the very top of the actual Amazon app, you're going to see what's called like the Amazon lens. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but like right there in the corner, you'd press that and it uses AI to pretty much scan whatever the product is. And then it'll pull up the listing right away so you can easily make sure that it's actually on Amazon before you start shooting the video.
What type of software do you use to basically scout out different types of products to do videos on?
And is that necessary?
In the beginning, I would say no. In the beginning, no, unless you're buying like crazy high ticket stuff to like furnish your house or like create a home office, then maybe it might be worth it. But we use at PCC is called Sortio X. I can send the name in here. So Sortio X is nice because it pretty much gives you a breakdown of like the opportunity score, meaning like, hey, this product looks good, but the entire carousel is already filled up with Amazon influencer videos, so your chance of getting it's pretty slim. Or you can kind of like compare it. It almost pulls up like SaaS, so it like kind of compares them side by side, so you can see like this one has a better opportunity score than this one. Let's buy this one. It's pretty much the same product. So that's typically what I use, but definitely not mandatory in the beginning. And again, coming from an FBA background, it's kind of crazy to like not need any tools. Like you already have an iPhone. I hope you have Wi-Fi. That's all you need to actually be successful with it, honestly. Like there's no need for any gear or softwares or any of that, to be honest.
Thank you. I'd love to interrupt here for
Go
anyone
ahead.
that doesn't know about this, and we're just kind of like dove in, right? There is an approval process.
Hmm.
Talk about that. You don't
For
you
sure.
can't just be like a sign up and you're approved. There's a process.
Correct. Yes. So to get approved, you have to, apply with one of these four socials. It could be YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. We typically recommend Instagram or TikTok just because we've had that pretty dialed in to where it's like, I think 97% pass rate on the first attempt, if they follow the step-by-step for us. So that's one of the big ones for us. So yes, you would get approved initially with your socials. They're going to look at your socials, and they don't want to look at your socials and see like, oh, he already reviewed a bunch of products. Like it can be literally videos and pictures of anything. They want to see engagement. Amazon's very big on engagement, which is how they're going to approve or deny you. So, for instance, I've seen people get approved in PCC with 150 followers on TikTok, and I've seen people get denied with 50,000 subs on YouTube. So it really doesn't matter like the exact follower amount as it does the engagement, meaning you're posting consistently for 7 to 10 days before you apply, and you're engaging with every single comment, every single DM, every single story. So you're just staying consistent with that to get approved. So that's the social media approval. And then from there, you would do the on-site approval, which would be just getting those 3 videos uploaded to Amazon. We always say pick something super boring. Think like a Stanley Cup and a computer and a mouse. You don't want to do anything that's going to have any type of medical claims at all, like no supplements, creatine, none of that, like no vitamins, like just completely avoid that in the beginning, just because anything that can be perceived as a medical claim can be, just get you denied on that first attempt. Yeah.
How many attempts do you have?
So you have 3 attempts per social. So like say like you're all out Thompson Instagram, you applied, you get those 3 attempts. And then from there, after you get denied on that 3rd time, then you have to start with a different TikTok, a different Instagram, or something like that.
Is it 3 for the application and then 3 for your 3 videos, or is it just?
I actually think they recently changed the social media one. I have to double check on that. I think it's just like very new, like within the last 5 days. I know me and James were chatting about it. I think they increased that now, like with the actual socials, like there's like no limit supposedly. But I haven't trialed it with any of our students or with anybody yet. So I don't want to like, say it until we're like 100% positive on it. But with the 3 videos for on-site, that is still the same, where it's like you only get 3 attempts. After that third attempt, then you're going to have to start with a fresh social.
So
But then,
I
but then once
oh
you get those, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, keep going.
So once you get those 3 videos for on-site, then you're in the clear and you can literally review everything in your entire region, wherever you live.
So I accidentally made 2 influencer accounts. So
Oh, there we go.
the first one I got approved with like 1,000 Instagram followers. Crystal, this is going to answer your question. You don't have to use anything specific. It doesn't have to be specifically created for AIP. I used my photography business one. I think I only had like 1,000 followers at the time and I got approved. But the second time that I got approved, the one that I want to do it on, I used our personal TikTok, which has like 500 followers. I think I had 400 followers on TikTok at that time when I got approved. So to me, that shows that they would favor TikTok over Instagram, but it's also Amazon, and somebody gets
Yeah,
ungated for something that other person won't get ungated for. There's no rhyme or reason. Oh, Becca's
right.
here.
But also to piggyback on that, so you have a photography business and you're not doing UGC yet, so you got like a real camera,
My
like a
husband's
DSLR.
dreams come before mine. But yes, I have 2 photography cameras. I don't mean to make you feel bad, honey. I have 2 photography cameras. It's going to be great. I have big dreams, big
Oh
goals
my
with this.
goodness. Yeah, like if you even just having like access to that extra gear as a UGC creator specifically is like huge. Like a lot of anybody can grab an iPhone and shoot videos and take cool angles, especially with the 16, it's so good now. But once you know how to like properly color grade videos and just let people know like, hey, I have a DSLR, I have a Sony, whatever model it is, that's going to get you those, higher. Like once you're, seasoned, you've worked with 30 or 40 brands, that's when you could be like, hey, I could do 5 images for 1,000, and then we could do 2 videos for 1,500. Like that, those are the kind of rates you could charge if your content is pretty solid and it's high converting. So something to think about for sure if you already have the gear.
That sounds great. I kind of had put that on hold due to a disability, but I did have a studio and everything back in the day. Becca has a question here. How do I see what I'm making off of a video? Is it on the reports on Amazon Associates? How do you get there?
That's a great question. So yeah, it's going to be under reports. So once you're logged in on, Site Stripe on Amazon Influencer, you're going to go to see reports or reporting, and you're going to click that. And then you're going to have all of the numbers. It'll pretty much have the ASIN, the product name, how much revenue you've done within X period that you set it for, what commission dollar amount you had, and then also the percentage. So it'll pretty much break it all down for you depending on how you sort it. So you could do like the last 7 days, last 30 days, last quarter. So that's where it's going to be on there. That's a good question, though. I know a lot of people can get intimidated with the back end. It looks kind of wonky, but it's pretty easy once you get used to it. You could also do it on your phone too if you go on the Amazon app. It's just not going to give you the breakdown of like this product made you this. It used to have that, but now it's only on the desktop.
Thank you for answering that. That was very clear. Brian, do you have any other
So there's a few of us in here that just recently got approved for on-site. Where do we go next? What's some good solid advice on the next moves?
Honestly, I would just, like I was saying earlier, in regards to like pulling the app up and using the lens and just go from room to room. Like in the beginning, I would like keep track of it. I was like, I had a spreadsheet. I was like, okay, living room, kitchen, like what I thought was in there, and then doing it. But that's kind of overkill if you can literally just take like 45 minutes per day to go in there and scan everything in your office, even if you don't think it's going to be on there, and do a review on it and just start uploading. Okay, I banged out the office today, kitchen's tomorrow, this is the next day. And depending, say you have like a 3 bedroom with, you live with 2 or 3 people, you have kids, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to get at least 200 videos with something like that, And I feel like a lot of people sleep on the opportunity for doing friends and family and even doing their own stuff. Like, I want to go do the Airbnbs, I want to do that. And Airbnbs are great and they have high ticket stuff, but hey, you're paying a lot more for it. And they don't like it's not going to be a fully stocked house. You know what I mean? Like when you go to an Airbnb, they have, okay, 3 pans, they got utensils, they got a couple cups, and that's, you know what I mean? Like you go to like something like my house, for instance, there's, all different types of stuff that you could scan and do reviews on. So I always tell people to exhaust all of the options you have locally, friends and family. I typically either give them like an Amazon gift card for $50 or take them out to lunch or dinner. That's typically how I was able to get like 7, I think I like 7 friends and family. And then from there, once that's exhausted and you're already doing Amazon brand deals, then you're going to want to level up and start doing the Airbnb method that we speak about in Prime Commission Club, because you don't want to spam people on there. Like Airbnb is very stickler with that. You can't be messaging 50 people a day. There's a certain amount and a certain way to message these people to get them to work with you. So that's super important to make sure that you're doing it like the right way by the book.
And then they're gonna see you doing it, and then they're gonna join, and then you give them, I don't know, some kind of commission or whatever. Get an affiliate link for PCC or something.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
I did have another question. I forgot. Go ahead, Brian.
I got an Airbnb here for Miami Sellers Conference, so that was like my first thing
There
I
we
planned to
go.
do is go in there and just start seeing what I can video in there. So
Nice.
as a previous Amazon seller, it can be very saturated on the platform. How do you feel about that with AIP and Amazon?
I actually love when people say that, because a lot of people said that when I started, like about 2.5 years ago. Like a lot of people on YouTube were kind of like dooming it down, like, oh, there's no money on it, like my commissions are down and this and that. And I was like, what do I have to lose? So I was like, it's not like I have to buy a bunch of stuff to do this. Like I already have the equipment I need, which is my phone, and that's it. So I just, hit it super hard at that time. Was literally doing, like, I know this is more rare. I was doing 9 to 10, $11,000 per month within the first 6 months, because I'm a maniac, and I went and did like literally 8 Airbnbs within a 30-day period. But I don't know, like I guess I feel like the numbers are a little bit lower now. They are. I'll be completely transparent. They are a little bit lower than they were 2 years ago or a year ago. But again, there's literally no upfront cost. So it's like, even if it's only making 3 or 5,000 or 8,000, it's like you literally only traded 30 seconds of your time per video to get that. So I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things where it can't hurt to try it. You don't really have to buy any inventory. You have an iPhone, as long as you can get approved. I think it's worth the meat on the bone to try it. But I do hear a lot of people say that. And then also the whole perk of being able to upsell these people into UGC is just like a win-win all around, because you're, again, getting that free product, you're making commission, you're getting paid for the video you're sending them, and then you could resell it. So you can win so many different ways.
I think the question that we're all dying to know the answer to is, can you write off everything? Like if you bought something to review it, can you write it off on your taxes? You have proof that you're reviewing it for work, right?
That's a great question. This is not financial advice. I'm not a CPA, but you can, and especially with the Airbnbs too, like you for sure can write that off. Obviously, I would still speak to your CPA. Some would be more okay with it, but it's an expense. Same thing with the products. Especially if it's something higher ticket and you like needed it for the business, then you can write it off that way. But again, it's not. You didn't hear it from me, even though this is recorded.
We do have a CPA, a couple of them in our Discord group, so
Oh, okay.
I'll drop a question in the Discord for y'all.
Yeah, I'd be curious what they say on that. That's a good question. But also something else that, like, another eye-opening moment for me was back when, I think it was like one of my first 100 videos was actually an older generation of the AirPods. And it was like one of my first 50 videos. It was like 45 seconds long. And the BSR was 1 to 5 in electronics. For like the Keep a chart was like, it's been like that for literally years. And it was like around, I think it was like November when I had put it on there. And I was the first video on the carousel for 6 months. I made $6,000 off of that video. And like that to me was like, because like each month it was like, okay, one month it did 1,500 for one ASIN. And the next month it was like, 1,200. Then it was like 3,000. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, I just could not believe. So that was like another moment between James hitting the $10,000 month and then me making literally $6,000 off of one video. That's when I was like, I'm hitting this as hard as I can, and until the wheels fall off. So it is kind of wild once you have more ASINs in the wild and you can get everything, turning.
So there is a spot inside of this whole thing called creator connections, and that's separate, right? So can you tell what the difference is? And Becca wants to know, how do you properly even like utilize that?
That's a good question. James crushes it with creator connections. He typically averages anywhere from like 1,500 to like $3,000 per month just from that. So creator connections is essentially like a platform within Amazon Influencer where you have all these brands that are in there. They have the different products and the different campaigns for them. And you would just click like, add this to my campaign. And the commission percentages are also a lot higher. So they'll run these campaigns for anywhere from like 6 to 12 weeks. So you would do a review for, I'm sorry, they would ship you the product, you would do the review for it, and then you're able to get paid additionally from Amazon from doing these creator connections things. So there's a lot of opportunity. I don't do it as much as I should. James does a ton of that, but it is nice to have that. And again, an additional income stream on top of everything else. It is kind of nice. The thing that I don't personally like about creator connections is you can't negotiate a higher rate. So like whatever the rate is for the campaign, like that's it. And I don't like that. I like to be able to like speak my mind and get the numbers that I feel like I'm worth. Which is why I'd rather do regular Amazon brand deals, meaning I reach out to a brand, they reach out to me, I sell them on doing the one video and then also the UGC stuff. But once you talk about that on the back end in creator connections, they don't like to see that. So they can, I wouldn't say they would boot you, but they probably give you like a warning for trying to negotiate it or do anything like that.
And you're
Going to jump in real quick. Oh, sorry. I was just going to jump in real quick. We're almost at the hour mark. So if anybody has any questions, just get them together so we can get these asked. And yeah, you can go ahead, Amanda. Sorry.
So can you put your spouse to work? Like I applied. Andrew's been putting me to work. I'm ready to put him to work. Can I get him on camera reviewing stuff?
100%. Yeah. Like with mine is like, my last name is Murphy. So it's like Murphy family, it's like the Murphy family. So like I have 2,500 videos. She maybe did like 20, but still it's like, it's like her breast, like, cause she was like, pumping for my son. So it's like breast pumps and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't get behind like reviewing that kind of stuff. It just seems like for her, I'm like, I'll leave this for you, baby. You got this. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. So yes, you can definitely do that as long as in your bio you have, like that you're like the Thompson family reviews or something like that. And preferably both of you guys in that stock photo, which is also good for the brand exposure because they're going to see like, oh, okay, like they're like a millennial couple or whatever. I'm not sure how old you guys are, but like they're going to see you guys and be like, oh, okay, like they're a millennial couple. They have a dog, they have a kid, they're into this or whatever. So it's important to kind of put those key features of your life in there. This way, the brands know to reach out to you for different types of things.
Andrew says, what if the FBA business is in his name and we make a new LLC in my name and now we can review anything? Well, we can kind of already review anything anyway.
Yeah.
As long as we don't buy it to sell it on Amazon.
Exactly. But that is a good question for the CPA though, Andrew, the LLCs and all that. Unfortunately, I'm still a sole prop. I was going to change it last year and never did because I have other LLCs in California and it's like $800 a year to get one here. So, but that's a good question for the CPA. I would ask them to see what they, in the Discord, maybe chat them up and see what they say about that.
Well, if I say sole prop, I can use my own, like if I wanted to buy something to review, I could use my own credit card and we're fine, right? Because it says my name on it. So there is a benefit to staying, Kyle
Right.
Murray.
Exactly. Like as a sole, for sure. That's a
Going
good
off what
question.
Amanda was asking about Andrew reviewing videos, could they do like two accounts? Or do they have to be, because they live in the same household, have to have one? Like, could they have two different accounts and they could review the same things?
I wouldn't, honestly, especially because you guys live together. Like Amazon's smart, we all know that. Like nobody really understands their back end, and just because it's not on their TOS doesn't mean that it's something that would get your account banned. So I wouldn't risk it unless you guys are living in different houses with a different, VPN and IP address and all that. That's why I just feel like it's easier to like have that family account and do it that way, in my opinion.
But nothing's stopping you from creating more accounts for offsite commissions. Like Noelle has multiple TikTok accounts. And so she's just growing those up. Like Andrew could have an account and I could have an account. It's the same premise or however you want to say it. It's the same thing. But having two Amazon accounts
Right.
wouldn't be good. Like you can have multiple TikToks and grow all those accounts, which I heard is another angle. You can grow up multiple social.
And you could do like
Exactly.
separate for like UGC and stuff, just not with Amazon.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And another, like, I don't really do too much TikTok shop now, but it is kind of nice if you're already approved for TikTok shop, is being able to, this product's on, I already did an Amazon influencer video review for this. As long as you're doing a different style of video, not cross-posting it, you can upload a different video for TikTok shop for the same product, which is kind of cool. And I've done that in the beginning. I was doing probably 50 to 60 videos a month that were for both platforms. So I was like making commissions from TikTok, making commissions from Amazon influencer, and then also doing like brand deals and stuff in between. So that's a nice added perk. If you're already approved for TikTok shop, there's definitely opportunity there.
Okay, Becca says, last question. I have two storefronts. Like one starts with on Amazon, and then my other one is my name. What is the difference between the two storefronts? Is it because I also have the Amazon storefront with links?
That's a good question. So the on Amazon one that has your name, Becca, is going to be the on-site one. The one with the numbers, it's like usually like 050 or whatever it is at the end. That one's going to be for your off-site. So when you go to your reports, you're going to see like, if somebody purchased something via your affiliate link, that's going to be the off-site one. But if it was the on-site one, then it's going to be like usually a higher commission amount. It's a good question. It's going to be a little tricky when you log in and see that.
I think I saw it. I think James had mentioned how him and his wife review stuff like you split up when you get to an Airbnb and you can tackle stuff at the same time, so you're not spending so much time doing that. So if you
Oh yeah.
have a spouse that you can split up and you take the kitchen and I'll take the living room and like two bedrooms or whatever, because kitchens usually have more gadgets in them. But that's a really good idea, and I like that angle. So if you're so
Yes.
yeah, or even like what if like two besties like Aaliyah and Brian got together and made their accounts like one, like they're already approved now, but like it could be like bestie reviews or whatever, and they go to all these Airbnbs together. Or is it just spouses?
Yes.
Like how does that all work?
They don't really like as long as you have it in the name, like it's not a big deal. Like it's really like I've never seen anybody like get deactivated for it, in my opinion. And I've seen, we've helped literally hundreds of people get approved for it. But yeah, there's definitely opportunity in that, and then also in attacking the Airbnb from different angles. I've never had the opportunity to do that, but like if you're on a time crunch and they're like, hey, we got the cleaners coming in 2 hours, like you can have access to the place for $100, but all you get is 2 hours. Then you're gonna instead of reviewing everything, even the small stuff, then you got to put your FBA brain on and be like, all right, this one's BSR super low, this one's like only a $10 item, let's skip that. Okay, let's do the TV. You got to kind of think fast for it. That's happened to me a few times where they're like, they give me like a 2 hour window for like a 4 bedroom house, and I'm like, oh damn. It's like you can only get so many videos in that time.
Be nice to
Is
have
deaction? Oh, sorry.
okay. All right.
Is deactivation for AIP similar to a Section 3?
No, there's no fighting it. There's literally no fighting it. Like when I've seen it
Oh,
happen to people, it's literally like your account's gone now. Good luck. Like there's no, you can try to call support and all that, but there's no, oh, I'm going to try to file for it.
so it's even
And most
worse.
of yeah, it's they don't play
Man.
around with it. I feel like it almost feels automated too. It's like very AI, like the responses and everything is kind of like, this is it. And I feel like the top 2 ways people get, or top 3 ways people get deactivated are reselling, selling the product and also reviewing it, FBA, reviewing stuff in stores, huge no-no, like immediate deactivation. They see you like with a white backdrop in Walmart, like going through and doing all the stuff that's packaged. They're not going to be happy with that. So I'd say those are the two. And then what was the third one is having Amazon logos on your socials. Like that will take a while to catch up with you, but eventually they could, deactivate your account for that. So if you have like your orange bars and your, just the Amazon logo, or like if you have like the Amazon logo within your Discord somewhere, but it's like on your Instagram that you use to get approved, they could eventually take that account down. So that's something, those are like the top 3 things I would say to just be careful about, or like
You're
hide
saying
those
on
posts for a
you're
bit.
saying whatever you applied for with
Yeah, exactly.
that account, even after you're approved, you still can't. Oh wow,
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're kind of strict with it. It happened to a friend of mine that's he used to run a big like wholesale community, and it happened to him, and he was, he had like I think 1,000 videos when it happened, but luckily he had them all saved to Google Drive. So when he got a new account up, he just had, pretty much pushed everything in there and was able to get it all live again.
And Walmart's okay to post on it?
Say it again.
Walmart posts, are those okay? Or should you just
Uh,
stay away from that stuff altogether?
no, that should be fine. The Walmart stuff should be okay because it's not, because like with when you're doing the Amazon one, they call it like a trademark. It's almost like a trademark infringement where they're kind of like, hey, you're posting our thing without us asking you to do it, which is what they don't like. That's their reasoning behind that.
Okay.
So with our social media that we're using, should we like still be staying active with that all the time or?
You can never put it on private after you get approved with that one. Like it always has to remain public. It has to be a business Instagram, which is the simple setting you would just toggle on. But you don't have to be like posting consistently and like engaging and all that. Like, yeah, like once you're approved, like you're good to go. You're pretty much solid.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good question though.
Tyler, are you going to MSC?
I'm not sure what that is. What is that?
What Miami Seller Conference?
Oh, no. I'm not going there. I'm
Yeah.
not.
I know some
No.
people still go for like I like Cade Peterson's still going, but he's not big into Amazon selling anymore, is he? He's just
I don't know. Yeah, it's on the other coast for me now. I wanted to go when I was doing FBA, but
yeah.
yeah, I'm not going. I mainly hit like conferences now for not really so much for content creation, but like a big hack for UGC creators is I go to different events, like a fitness expo or like a medical expo, and there's 500 brands there. I have my business cards. Hey, this is what I do. Here's my portfolio on the back. If you guys want to work with me, here's my email. That's a very slept on way to go about pitching brands in person. And I also feel like it's going to be like a stronger relationship when they like remember you instead of like a random email. They're getting hundreds of creators applying for those things. So that's typically what I'm going to be attacking the rest of this year is different types of expos and conferences that are local to me.
That's a great hack. We have come up on the 1 hour mark. Does anybody have any other questions?
I just have one quick one. So Kyle, you said your storefront or yours is called like the Murphy family. Are you able to change that? So like Amanda now, can she change hers to like the Thompson family if she already has it as Amanda?
Yeah, you could change it. It's kind of like changing your bio like on Instagram. Like it's pretty easy to do.
Oh, okay.
You can change it at any time. It's a good question. And then let me throw this. This is just the Facebook group. No, it's our free Facebook group for the UGC stuff. So it's me and Elia Jones, my business partner. This is the group here. If you guys have any questions about it, this one's more targeted towards specifically UGC. I have another group that's for the Amazon influencer, but this is the free community that we currently have called Content Creator Collective. If you guys wanted to add yourselves to it.
I'm in there. I love that group. I
Yeah,
lurk mostly. I don't have time to be texting all
all
the time.
good.
I love it. There's good stuff in there.
Yeah, it
Does
is nice to
anybody else
see.
have any other questions? No? Okay, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, Kyle, for
Of
dedicating an
course.
hour of your time to come hang out with us.
No, it
Um,
was great to meet you guys all.
and if anybody's
Thanks so much.
interested in the Prime Commission Club, Brian and I each have links, so we're going to post them in our own Discords. No hard feelings if you choose Brian over me. I just want you in there making money. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Sounds good.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys. Bye. Thanks for
Appreciate it.
having me.
Bye.